Johnnie Walker.
He's on!
Sir. Good evening, madam. Hello, darling.
Well, of course, I used to love listening to Radio Caroline. I was in the Midlands, and I remember having to string a huge, long wire aerial out of the window and up over the roof in order to be able to pick up Radio Caroline and Radio London. And then May 66, I got a job on Radio England. And I remember one day the tender, which used to supply all the boats because they're all anchored close to each other. So you had swinging Radio England, you had Radio Caroline, you had Radio London, all together. And the tender left Radio England and then moored alongside Radio Caroline. And Mike Ahern shouted out, "Is Johnnie Walker on there? Tell him to come and work for us. He's a good DJ." And that was a lovely thing for him to say. And that kind of stuck with me.
Broadcasting 4.5 miles off the Brindle Essex coast on 227 metres with 55,000 watts of power. This is Swinging Radio England, your first 24-hour most music station. The time now is exactly 1 a.m.
This is the Johnnie Walker Show on the much more music station, Swinging Radio England. The Boss Jocks.
And then came the day when I was just looking through the local paper while the tender was alongside whilst I was on Radio England. It was just a very small story that one of the two stations on board the motor vessel Laissez-Faire, of course we had Swinging Radio England and Britain Radio, one of the two stations would go to a Dutch format. And I thought, well, it's not going to be Britain Radio because that's very unique. So it's going to be Radio England. So I said to the captain of the tender, "How long are you going to be here for?" He goes, "Another 10 minutes. So I said, "Well, wait for me." I rushed downstairs, packed my bag, came back up. Roger Day said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "Oh, I've got something to do." So I jumped on the tender. And that night, Caroline was having an event at the Wimbledon Palais. And Chief DJ Tom Lodge was there. And I managed to talk my way backstage at the Wimbledon Palais. And I saw Tom. And I said, "Any chance of a job on Caroline?" And he said, "Well, you've got to go and talk to the Canadian Whiz Kids, Terry Bate, and then there was another. There were two Canadian guys who were pretty much running Caroline at that time. So they were in Caroline House. So I went there the next day, saw Terry Bate, and I said, "I'd love to come work on Caroline." And I had a tape with me. And he said, "Just wait there a sec." And he disappeared for what seemed like at least half an hour. And then he came back downstairs and he said, "Can you catch the train tomorrow morning from Ipswich and be on the tender?" So there it was. The very next day I joined Radio Caroline and I sat in for Rick Dane for a while, who did the 9 to midnight show. And then Rick decided to leave. He wasn't really enjoying himself, I don't think. And he also had a mobile disco business that he wanted to concentrate on in London. So he left and I inherited the show. So 9 to midnight became the Johnnie Walker Show. Records.
Johnnie Walker, 10 o'clock, turn-on time! Every night at this hour, Caroline Transmitter reproduces a groovy record guaranteed on. Run you on. Come on, money, baby. Go try Errol and enter your granny down one foot twice. Now you must close your eyes and open your mind, for here is tonight Johnnie Walker's strong song. Forget it. Guaranteed on.
Then we had Kiss in the Car, challenged people to kiss non-stop all the way through a record, and sent them a license. My mum sent them all out, bless her heart.
Now, all you have to do now is get a self-addressed envelope, give it a 40-one in the corner, put it inside another envelope, and send it to yours truly, Radio Caroline, London W1. And I will send off to you an official, yes, beware of cheap imitations, an official Johnnie Walker Kiss in the Car license, valid till January 1968. So you do that thing straight away now, because everybody else is. So you'll be a loser if you haven't got a license on your windscreen. 22 minutes before 12 midnight on Caroline.
I went to the printers and I did a design of the license based on a tax disc. And he said, I can't print this. He said, it's a facsimile of a tax disc. And I said, no, I've taken it to the police and had it checked out. And they said, it's okay. And he goes, oh, all right then. How many do you need? And I said, well, 20,000 would do. So that's what happened. I think we sent out 19,000 altogether. Somebody did get taken to court, having it in the car window and not having a tax disc. And the magistrate said, I'm surprised at this radio station putting out a facsimile of the road fund license. Then we started print and flashing, which was a way of communicating with people on shore.
21 minutes before midnight now, and we've seen you all right, beautifully, that guy who's flashing there just. Now you know the rules. Very quickly we'll try and find out something from you. It's 2 flashes for yes and 1 flash for no. So if you'd like to tell me now whether I've spoken to you before on the air, if you'd like to flash now.
Because, of course, there's no email. There was no mobile phones. We had a ship-to-shore telephone only to be used in emergencies. There was on the bridge, I think, that the captain used. I remember an engineer spotted these lights flashing, and he said, I think there's a car flashing headlights at it. And I said, the car flashing headlights at the ship, give me 3 flashes. And it flashed 3 times. And I said, okay, I got you. So we pinpointed the car. 2 flashes for yes, 1 flash for no. Might have been the other way around, can't remember. But from that, I used to find out their names, how long they'd been going out with each other, where they'd been that evening. It was a real kind of conversation. And print and flashing became really well known. And I remember there was one great day when the BBC, bless them, were going to come down and do a documentary on Caroline. So all week long, I was plugging. I said, the BBC are coming down Saturday night. Come to Frinton, shine your lights at the ship. Let's show the BBC how many people love Caroline. So, of course, the whole of Frinton and surrounding areas was invaded by cars. And I remember this same engineer, he was a great guy, because to communicate with cars, I would go out on deck and he fitted me up with a big long lead for my headphones and a big long lead for a handheld mic. So I'm out on the deck this Saturday night. I said, so the BBC are filming this.
Now is the chance for the whole nation to flash their lights and show everyone parked around them that are listening to Radio Caroline. So Pat, if you hit the jingle and let's see there's some flashes now.
And the entire coastline, as far as you can see, from left to right, lit up. It was just absolutely incredible. It was my moment of greatest megalomania, I have to say. And of course, I repeated the exercise a few times. It was fantastic.
Well, you know how we do it. We want to find out your names, you see. So if you take the first letter of your Christian name and count it into the alphabet. In other words, if your name is Arthur, you flash once. If it's C. Charlie, you flash twice, and so on. So if you could do that for us over there, and don't do it until, we've had about 5 seconds of the record, and then I can count the flashes and we'll try and work out your name. All right?
So here we are, Radio Caroline still going. Ronan O'Reilly said, there will always be a Radio Caroline. He used to call her the lady. He didn't used to like to go out to the ship because he got seasick, but there was one time he was going out with a bunch of journalists. And one of the journalists noticed that as we got near the ship, the sea seemed to calm down. And he mentioned this. And Ronan goes, well, he said, that's the calming influence of the lady, beaming out our love. That's what causes the sea to be calmer around the lady, as he always called Radio Caroline. And what it was, of course, is we were over a sandbank. So the sea was always calmer over the sandbank. That was the reason why we were anchored where we were.
land.